Well, hello everybody. Hope you're having a great Friday night. This is just a quick little chat about what may or may not happen come Sunday morning. Oh, wow. I just heard myself coming out of this other speaker over here. Let me try to shut that down. I'm going to try to answer some of your questions here as we go along, best I can anyway. So again, just knowing right up front that we still, and probably even if you asked me at this time tomorrow night, it would be the same answer. Don't have a concrete answer on really what this is going to be. If you think back to last January, we had one of these situations that it was like, it may happen, it may not, and it ended up being kind of a bust and everything was to our north on that one. It was the second one that came along like a week or so later. That ended up being the real deal. And it wasn't a question of, is it going to snow? It was, how much snow are we going to get out of this thing? That's not what this is. So, a few things, I've been talking on the news about this that don't line up. First of all, you're going to see some color spots on here that show as wintry precip, but the same models that are showing this also, if you look at their corresponding temperature output, it doesn't match up. You're not seeing freezing temps in some of these places. I'm not saying this won't happen. I'm just saying that I'm skeptical of some of this. All right, so here's just start with midnight tonight. There is this system beginning to come in northwest Georgia to Alabama. For us, it'll probably be overnight toward early morning, a few sprinkles. This is not the event. This is Sunday morning is what we're going to be talking about. So this is just sprinkles here. The original models over the past couple of days, if you've been keeping up, showed this happening and then leaving for the day and not coming back until Sunday morning is around 2. Now it looks like it will kind of hang around some through the day. Not saying a washout, but at least some light rain off and on, especially afternoon and evening, starting to kind of build back in. This is around this time tomorrow night, 9, 10 o'clock. That's all rain and green and yellow. Then we get past midnight to around 1 a.m. Now at this point, first of all, let me show you, this is the Graf model, the main one that you see us use daily. This is one we always show you, and there's all kinds of models, but this is the one we show you most of the time, pretty much all the time. So notice that most of the precip at this point is already past our northwestern half, so kind of making south and eastward. At some point, as we go on the timeline heading closer to sunrise, which is always the coldest part of the day, is the last bit of darkness you have, so that's the coldest part of the day. That's when we could see it switch over right here. But as I said a minute ago, and you'll see in a minute, some of these numbers through here, as a matter of fact, even the number, let me see if I can find it. The graph, there it is, for Sunday morning, this same model in Macon, 33 degrees. Okay, so last I checked, that's not freezing, 32 is. The GFS model calling for 34. The European model calling for 33, but some of the blends of other models are at 31. But this particular graph model is 33, and that's in the Macon area. And you can be rest assured that usually the farther south you go, some of the warmer numbers, and that cold air is going to be going along with this here. But I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be there like that. If it is, it might be some sort of a mix, sort of a wet snowflake sleet kind of thing, but I think it's going to be the farther south and east you go. So keep this in mind as you're looking at this. But again, also notice all the way down to the panhandle of Florida with numbers that I've seen there that are not at freezing. Here is 6, 7 in the morning. If you're used to kind of looking at snow colors, anything that's in white or the kind of bluish purple shaded area, that's supposed to be all snow. It's the pink line is that transition to sleet or some sort of mix of rain, snow, and ice. There is consistency with all these models showing this blowing up in our southeastern counties and then continuing towards southeast Georgia, which is kind of wild. It's not something you normally see, but again, notice all the way down here to Tallahassee, Florida. And I was looking at the numbers, and you'll see them in a minute on this very model. It's like 36, 38 degrees through here. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But the models at least continue to show this. So that means from the 75 I-10 split up through St. Simons, Savannah to Charleston could have some sort of wintry weather here as we get into lunchtime. Now, most of us, we're already done. Oh, by the way, very windy on the backside of this, windy and cold, as if we haven't seen that. So that's the Graf model. I have a few of these I'm going to show you. Let's go to the European model. This one comes out a couple times a day. What it's starting with here is at 10 o'clock tomorrow night. You can see rain. 11 o'clock. And the same kind of, well, similar. 6 in the morning, trying to do this thing of changing over, again, at the coldest part of the day, right before sunrise, and it stretches it all the way down. Southeast Alabama, panhandle of Florida. And if this is right, again, all of this changeover on these first two models happens after Macon. So it's in not the usual suspects here. Southeastern counties are usually watching to see if snow ever makes it far enough south to even get to Macon. So it's a little bit different that it's underneath all that. If this happens, and again, this is, I'm not trying to be a wet blanket here. I mean, maybe it will happen, but it's just, it's so marginal, the whole thing. This is wild to me too, that the Euro just blows it up right here for like an hour with just, that's the color for snow. Again, the number, and I've got it right here written down, for Sunday morning during this time, at least in the Macon area on the Euro, is 33 degrees. So something doesn't quite make sense with that. And I'm going to show you on this last model in a minute why I'm thinking the way I'm thinking. There's Sunday noon to 1. Again, at this time, we're in, basically because of the shortened days, we're in the heat of the day here, if you want to call it that. And at that point, we're in the 40s. So that just doesn't really track, as the kids say. There's 5 in the afternoon and then gone. All right, let's go to the GFS. Now, the GFS was the first to jump on this a few days ago. I made the mistake of looking at the comments. Ryan, man's always so negative, always. No, Ryan. I'd love for this to happen. I think it would be great. I just don't want somebody to get their hopes up. And, you know, the way this business is nowadays, all over the country and the world, hype, you know, hype it up to be something, and then it's not that. I just don't want it to say this is going to be that, it's going to be that, and then kids walk outside Sunday morning and there's nothing there. That's what I'm trying to say, not being negative. There is Saturday, 7 o'clock. This is around 4 or 5 in the morning on the GFS model. Again, this was the one that was really going after it early on. It shows some sort of a wintry mix here. Frozen sort of sleet, something in there. Then 7, 8 o'clock, trying to change over to possibly snow here. Again, looking at the GFS model during this time frame, it has it at 34 degrees. There's around noon. That, if this is right, snow, sort of a mix. Rain, noon to 1, and then moving away. Now the NAM model, not one that you see show very often, unless that was, you know, unless this is like an event like this. This is usually when we kind of show this. This one, I mean, just look for yourself. I mean, you see rain, a little bit of a changeover at 4 in the morning, some back here, but nothing in between there. A changeover here to something frozen. Back here, something frozen. This is the farthest north and west of any of these showing this. Yet rain in the middle. Still a little bit of that, a little bit of that. And then starting to do the southeastern counties thing at 10 in the morning, and then kind of jumps on the bandwagon with everybody else here at noon. Again, when we're in the upper 30s to 40s. And then moving away. Now, all that build up, first ones I showed you were, well, the Graf is the Graf. That's going to be a 3-day model. But the Euro, the GFS, those are long-range models. They handle things a little bit differently. This NAM model is a little bit more of a shorter range. But the shortest of ranges is going to be what we call the HRRR, High Resolution Rapid Refresh. This is one of the high-res models, and there are many, that come out. That comes out every hour. So what you're going to see with this is a little bit more, kind of makes sense to me. This is Sunday, 1 in the morning, some rain in the eastern half. 3 in the morning, sliding away. 5 in the morning, nothing. And then all of a sudden it tries to show a flurry or two here. 6 in the morning, maybe a flurry. 8 in the morning, mainly just rain southeast. Then it jumps on the bandwagon at 9 in the morning, farther south and east. So they all at some point show southeast Georgia with some sort of a wintry mix. I just don't know how much of our area would see that. I think probably the farther south and east you are. So just on the information we have now, our southeastern half, if you want to call it that, kind of underneath this line, probably has the best chance of seeing something wintry. Okay, so let's take a look at the temperatures here. This is tonight. There's tomorrow, upper 50s. Now we get into Sunday morning. Now the graph was the first one I showed you there. 33, 34, 34, 35, Valdosta. I'm going to go forward a little bit right here. All right, so this is like Sunday, 11 a.m. You do see 33 here, 37, 36. From anywhere from like noon to 4, we're in the upper 30s to low 40s here. Okay, so same model. With the numbers you just saw. So here we are, 1 a.m., 5 a.m., when you were seeing 34s, 33s. Same thing in South Georgia. So that's the reason some of it doesn't quite make sense. But, you know, we'll say there's a chance. How about that? And probably even if we did see anything, I can't imagine that we're going to see anything stick because rain will have already been there first. And so it's going to hit that and generally it'll melt. So it would be kind of a novelty thing early Sunday morning if we saw anything. I don't anticipate seeing, at this point, what we saw last January where everybody broke the sleds out. Let's see. John says, how is it the GFS and Euro are so far off? I mean, actually, they're probably in a little better agreement now. Earlier on, days ago, they were, one day there'd be something there and then absolutely nothing, just gone again. That's the reason why, and I'm not trying to be a negative Nelly, I kind of lean more toward this high-res model. Makes a little more sense to me, given the temperature profile that's out there. I still don't understand Southeast Georgia because those numbers, and that's 9 o'clock, getting into the day. So let's go back to, this is not the same model, but close. Sunday morning, 34, 33 Macon, 34 Dublin, 34 Albany, 34 Valdosta, 33 still Macon. Now we're starting to go up. 34, 35, 37 in the Macon area there. 33 still Valdosta, 34. So if you just look at this, none of these numbers are ever at freezing. And even some of these models are showing that strip of either snow or some mix from Valdosta to Savannah at this time of day where it's 42 degrees. Okay, so the overall takeaway is what most of these events are. They're frustrating. They're very frustrating. Just to recap, if you're just joining us, this is tonight. The system's starting to come in, bringing maybe a few showers toward tomorrow morning. There may be breaks tomorrow, but then tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night, some rain kind of picking up. 9, 10 o'clock, just rain at this point. There's around 1 in the morning. And again, possibly this happens, maybe a changeover. We'll see if that happens as we head toward 5, 6 in the morning, southeastern counties. And then as far as our area is concerned, by the time we get into like 10 o'clock, if we saw anything, it would be gone. Again, that's Graf model, Euro, showing a similar scenario. If this one's right, it's a thin line of a changeover and this mysterious blow up right there out of nowhere that goes into snow, which if this is right would include parts of the Macon, Warner Robins area. and then start to slide south. Again, this is noon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon when we're in the low 40s. Doesn't make a ton of sense. There's the GFS. Again, maybe a changeover to a wintry mix at 5 in the morning. Then all of a sudden it goes to snow at 7, 8 o'clock. Again, a model that has us at this hour at 34 degrees. Models, especially where we are, they're just, I've seen it for decades. It's just not, they struggle when it comes to wintry weather sometimes. You'll just see weird patches of colors on there, and it's almost like you can't fully take them seriously until you get closer in, because some of this just doesn't make sense. If you had a changeover here and here, why not here? So it's the model trying to figure out what's cold enough to make this into something other than rain. 6 in the morning, patchy, weird, rain, snow, snow. 10 in the morning, 11 o'clock noon, when we're in the upper 30s to near 40, close to that, at least upper 30s. And again, the one that at least I'm leaning more toward, is this one, 5, 6, 7 in the morning. Maybe a flurry on the back side, if anything. Sprinkles in our southeastern county. Then blowing up to the south and east is something wintry. Again, temperature-wise, it doesn't line up, but we'll see. Okay, let's see if I can. I'll put it back on the graph so I have something there to stare at, and see if I can answer some questions. Save the salt for margaritas. Got it, says Brett. Okay. Yeah. What is Atlanta, Christina says. The farther, which is weird, the farther north and west you go, the less likely of seeing anything. So that means Atlanta, much less likely. Okay, guys, that's the latest on that. We'll have more 10 and 11 tonight. Some new model runs will be out. And then, of course, tomorrow morning and throughout the day tomorrow, we'll be on it like a hawk, and we'll be letting you know if we see any changes one way or the other. So thanks for joining me. We will continue. This is kind of as we go through the weekend. As a reminder, if you don't know, our 13 WMAZ Plus channel has a 24/7 Doppler radar on there now that you can select. And it's got cool music, and it's just the radar. It's, again, radar is just current data. It's not showing you future view or any sort of, model data or anything like that. It's what's happening. So it's always good to have, like overnight, toward tomorrow, through the day, and definitely Sunday morning, because it'll show precip type and all that, what's frozen and what's not. So we're going to leave you with that, and it'll fill till the bottom of the hour, and then other programming will be on 13 WMAZ Plus, and we'll see you live at 10 o'clock. Thanks. See ya.